Okay, let's have a look at some stories today and see what I can start the show with. Arsenal board and Mikel Arteta are in love. Oh, okay, it's an interesting quote. Leon director, Jorginho, Houssem Aouar. I'm sorry. What? What the heck? This motherfucker. This motherfucker. How? When? This son of a... All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chid from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. First of all, apologies for not doing the show yesterday. I ain't gonna lie, man. Between my headaches and just work at the moment wiping me out, yesterday I was too busy, believe it or not, building a website. I know it wasn't for this. It was for work. So I ran out of time, basically doing the things I needed to do. So I wasn't able to do a show. I'm sick of making announcements and falling short of it. But all I'm going to say is between now and Saturday, keep an eye on stuff. Things will start to happen. Do me a favor, do slap a like on this video, because much more than 23 people need to be watching this. I know it's late. I know it's gone midnight. I know people are looking at the phone like, what? This idiot is doing a show at 12:15. Please do slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button. And let's get this story moving. Now, let's talk about the first story at hand. I've got two slants to this story that I'm going to talk about. And that is, I suppose we should start with the obvious. Some geezer called Lee Gunner. I never heard of him either. He essentially, I should stop sharing, shouldn't I? He essentially scored an interview with Fabrizio Romano, who I know is an editor that many of you guys like and respect and all sorts. And so essentially, he came out with a quote today, and it basically, this Mr. Gunner basically came out and asked him, you know, what's the deal? Because we're hearing a lot of rumors about the fact that Guendouzi is someone who, you know, is supposedly part of this deal. And Arsenal obviously trying to get rid of him. And in that, they're trying to bring in this Houssem Aouar, or however you call it. I've been told off once this week about the way I pronounce people's names. Which, by the way, on that subject, guys, if you come onto the show and you're a member, probably the best thing to do, I'm all for a bit of banter and back and forth. Maybe not tell the host off about the way he pronounces names. We know that shit don't pronounce names properly. Shouldn't be a sticking point. Something happened a couple of days ago. It didn't sit well with me. So I just thought, as we do these shows moving forward, just keep that in mind, guys. All right. Anyway, basically, talking about the story. So this Mr. Gunner came out with a question, and then the response was, well, Houssem Aouar is someone that the board are in love with, and that Mikel Arteta is in love with. My question has always been very, very simple. Yeah, it's all good. It's all well and good saying that. I'm sure that the board are in love with him. I'm sure that, you know, Mikel Arteta is in love with him. He's an excellent player. I've told you guys from the very start, I'm in love with him myself. He's an excellent player. He's technically very good. There are times when in games when sometimes if a team are performing that badly, he also goes missing. But I won't please don't think, oh, another Mesut Ozil. No. This guy is not that. He's so technically good. Perhaps from his point of view as a 21-year-old, he'll be aiming to get even more better and more consistent than he is, which I'm sure he will. But when he turns it on, this guy is an excellent player. I make no mistake about it. Having said all of that, I do wonder how much he wants to move. Because we know, at least I know through my own story investigations, that Houssem Aouar's first choice is Juventus. I've always said that. I've always said that from the get-go. The only problem is Juventus are in a slightly worse position than us. Because as funny enough, on this unknown stranger Lee Gunner on his channel, Fabrizio also confirmed that actually Juventus are in a similar situation where all they could do is swap deals. So that's probably the only reason why Arsenal even have somewhat of a chance here, is because they have a little bit of free cash. Well, they actually managed to speak to Aouar today. So this Lee Gunner's thunder was stolen a little bit towards the end of the day. And I've actually got that interview. So I'm going to share this with you guys now. Hold on 1 second. Let me pick the right thing. So this was an interview that was taken towards the end of the day. And basically people asked Houssem Aouar just straight up, what exactly is it that you want? We're hearing that City wants you. We're hearing that Juventus want you. But what is it that you want? So he said, speaking to in an interview with L'Equipe following his first ever call-up to the French national team, which congratulations to him, I forgot about that. A Lyon attacking midfielder was asked about his future. It's hard knowing that you could leave Lyon without saying goodbye to a full stadium of fans. And then Houssem Aouar responded and said, well, I haven't left yet, so I haven't answered this question. Sometimes people say that you shouldn't change a club the year before the Euros to preserve your chances of being in the squad. Has that entered your thoughts? And then Houssem Aouar says, again, I haven't left yet. And then we're going to ask the question again in another way today. What is it that you want to do? And then he responded by saying, that one is very tough. And then he laughed. And then he said, which would annoy me if I'm a Lyon fan, by the way, I want us to start the league well, but that we beat Dijon to start with. So you can see he's just focused. That was it, by the way. You can see he's just focused on starting the league with France. Obviously, they ended their season much, much earlier than we did. So they are more or less ready to start their season. And that's all he's focused on at the moment. The belief is that he has told the club that he wants to go. The club are prepared to let him go because they're not in Europe, and they need to, quite frankly, make some sales. And they've already said that Houssem Aouar and Dembele are two players that they would be prepared to let go. Probably their two biggest assets financially, for sure. I'm still unconvinced that he wants to come. Maybe it's because I know how much of a good player he is. So I don't want to get hopeful, because I feel like this is going to be a difficult one to maneuver. But it's very clear that this guy is probably Arteta's dream signing, the one that Arteta really wants. I think more than your Parteys, more than your Coutinhos, more than this is the one he really wants. And he's a star. He's a star waiting to happen. But can we get it done? I'm still not convinced. I'll be honest. And I admit, maybe a little part of that is due to the fact that I don't want to get myself hopeful. But a majority of that is in my mind, I'm finding it difficult to believe that we will sanction a 60 million euro bid for this guy. And so unless they are prepared to all of a sudden hear out a swap deal, then not only that, then Guendouzi has to be prepared to go to Lyon, which I don't really know why he would want to do that. There's too many variables there that just make me think, how could this happen? But again, what do you guys think? That's the most important thing. This is your show. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. All right, let me stop sharing this and start talking about other stories. Let's talk about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, this story is more about yesterday. Wolves made a bid of 15 million for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I guess you got to try your luck. Arsenal are damn sure know this. The belief is that Arsenal are prepared to listen to anything 20 million and above. Wolves made a bid of 15 million pounds, which was flat out rejected. There was no negotiation about it. That was just, are you taking the piss? Bow. Rejected. Arteta came out today, and I'll be honest, he didn't exactly distance himself from the idea of a sale, which is what I was secretly hoping. Which I find funny because on the one hand, he says this, that, he likes Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and that's been proven by the fact that he plays Ainsley Maitland-Niles in many of the important games, which, to be fair, he does. He plays Ainsley Maitland-Niles in a lot of the important games. But then on the other hand, he said something along the lines of, but that he's open to, the way he put it was making the player happy. If the player isn't happy and would like to seek other options, then he would want to make that player happy. AKA, he'd be open to a sale. But then on the other hand, the geezer that he's been freezing out for the last couple of months, Guendouzi, he's talking about the fact that Guendouzi still has a potential future at the club. I'm like, eh? So I don't know. This is why, if you want to know why me and other people are very skeptical whenever Arteta talks, it's because of things like that. I think he's a very good talker, but sometimes you look at him and he says something and you just say, but how could that be the case when you've been doing this? There's things that, for me, I'm not about blind faith. I'm not about that. I like the idea, especially when it comes to these football managers. I'm not about it. So I need to be able to see something that suggests that you are consistent in what you're saying, so that when you are speaking words, I can take it in and I can say, all right, well, that makes sense because you've done X. To me, I would rather he came out and just said, listen, we're open to the idea of selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles. As you guys know, we're also open to the idea of selling Guendouzi because it's obvious Guendouzi is not in your plans. Don't be talking this nonsense of, oh, well, Guendouzi could still have a future. Mr. Ozil could still have... No, stop it. Arsenal fans are dumb. Not all Arsenal fans are dumb. Some of us know our Guan. Just things like that, I don't like. And I know that won't be a popular thing for me to say, because I know the minute that you, even for half a second, give criticism when it comes to Mikel Arteta, it doesn't go down well. But that's just my opinion. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave in the comments below. Now, give me 2 seconds. 1 second. I just realized this entire time my laptop wasn't plugged in. And my laptop is basically said, anyone who's owned a laptop knows you've got about 30 seconds when your laptop warns you that your battery is running out. You got about 30 seconds to find your charger and plug that thing in, or it's going to be a problem. So I've managed to do that now. So I'll come back on camera. All right. Okay, so a bit better now. See, there's 94 people in here, which is not bad for 12:30. Please do slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this thing moving. Gabriel. Oh, my goodness. So I must admit, I put this tweet out yesterday, and I will say it myself here. You guys know I take the piss out of people that hound Arsenal admin, hound Arsenal Twitter, Some of you lot watch the show. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Majid. Some of you lot watch the show. You announce this, announce that. But I must admit, Arsenal, you guys are taking the piss with not only the Gabriel signing, but the Aubameyang signing. It must be damn near 2 weeks for the Aubameyang thing, and we're approaching probably 2 weeks for Gabriel. Like, what is going on here? Like, only Arsenal could do this shit. This is why it's so frustrating being an Arsenal fan. You look at Chelsea, right? Chelsea, the start of the week. Bear in mind, we are just ending Thursday, or if you're in, well, technically it's Friday because we're past midnight. Or if you're in Australia or New Zealand, you are way into Friday right now, right? But it's so frustrating sometimes because you just think to yourself, hold on, Chelsea, right? Don't get me wrong, they've been linked with Chilwell all summer. But until recently, I thought they were going to move for Tagliafico, right? And it was only Monday I found out that, they were actually serious about Chilwell. So they laid money on Chilwell. By Wednesday night, that shit was wrapped up. My motherfuckers taking pictures and shit, and it's a done deal. Now, don't get me wrong. I can completely understand. In the situation of Chilwell is different from the situation of Gabriel. Before somebody asks me why, because quite frankly, Chilwell is in the country, whereas Gabriel is now in quarantine. But we also know that Gabriel went to the damn training ground. So you don't be telling me, as Arteta was talking about today, he came out and said, technically it's not finalized yet. Well, what are we waiting for then? He's done his medical. Did his medical a minute ago. He did his medical about a week ago at this point. He's done his medical. He's done his social medias, from what I understand, is all that social media stuff. So what are you telling me? He's not signed this contract? What are we waiting for here? What is the final hurdle here? It's highly frustrating watching Arsenal do transfer business. Highly. Even the Willian thing. You guys know I weren't particularly interested in doing. I weren't particularly interested in the Willian signing, but just seeing how protracted that situation is, it's just like, oh, come on, guys. Then let's get us shit into gear. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting Gabriel to be playing on Sunday. But flip, I want at least a couple of these guys ready by the 12th of September. At this rate, we're going to be struggling. Oh, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. Based on my man's comments, we're probably not going to get. I'll come back to Aubameyang in a minute. It's going to be touch and go if he signs it this week. Remember when all the papers were saying Gabriel will sign his contract this week? Well, it was going to be touch. By the sounds of what my man's saying, excuse me, try not to burp on that. By the sounds of what my man is saying, it's going to be we don't really know when it's going to be finalized. He reckons it's done without being done. Oh, excuse me. So who knows when that action will happen? With Arsenal, we just have to assume these things are done. I feel like the Gabriel deal is done. I'm now starting to worry that the Aubameyang deal is not as done as I initially thought it was. But the Gabriel deal, I do think is done. Just Arsenal taking their sweet time. Oh my, they are really taking their time. Now, I have said before, on occasion, Arsenal do like a Monday announcement. They like a Friday announcement. So I would still say brace yourself. We were told before the end of the week. So let's see what happens, especially if Fabrizio, if Mr. Gunner's friend, whoever this Mr. Gunner is, if he is as accurate as he says he is, then supposedly we'll get this announcement tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, you do wonder what the fuck is happening. But I must admit, it's frustrating me. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Speaking of frustrated, let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That one sounds a lot more distant than this one, in the sense that he was talking about the fact that, he's pretty confident that it will be done, and that he wants to stay, and that all the signs are good. Now, unless he's just straight bluffing, and he admitted he did do that when the press were asking him about Bukayo Saka's contract, and he knew that that was signed. He wasn't allowed to say anything. I'm praying it's that, and that we'll get a double announcement tomorrow. Start that weekend right, going into a very scary Liverpool game where we don't really know what kind of Arsenal is going to turn up. Don't not really know what type of Arsenal will appear, quite literally. So it is what it is. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, is there anything else I've got to talk about? Sam. Oh, what is his name? Let me get my man's name, bro, because I don't want to butcher his name. Sam. What is his last name? Oh my gosh. Chat room, help me. What's his last name? While you guys do that, let me see. This is how I need to check the chat more, because I start missing things like donations. Big up DVS. Didn't Partey say the deal was 80% done on your stream yesterday? Didn't I say, yeah, don't ever listen to me anymore. This is a shite show for transfer. You did say it was 80% done. I'm going to come back to Partey shortly. I'll come back to Partey. But thank you, DVS. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's Greenwood. That's the one. Thank you, my brother Carter. Thank you. And Abdurrahman. I apologize. Like I say, I stay butchering names. But I've already been told off this week about butchering the name. So there you go. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Mr. Sam Greenwood. See what I'm saying? I even butcher names like that. Mr. Sam Greenwood, 18-year-old, scored 1 goal in, I think it's like 6 games for the under-23s, but he's meant to be really, really good. Underperformed slightly in terms of goals. Generally, he's supposed to be a really, really good prospect. Little surprise Arsenal are letting him go, to be honest, because he's only been at the club for 2 years. By all intents and purposes, he's well liked at the club. Lots of people think he's got a lot of a good technique on him. From whenever I've seen him, he's done really well. Hi, Dante. I see you, brother. I hope you're well. He's done really, really well. Buster, who the heck is Bucky Beaver? You keep saying this. Yeah, he's done really, really well. But for whatever reason, we're selling him, and Leeds are happy to take him. It looks like they're about to take him. Said to be a fee of about, I think it's around about 5 million. That was what I heard from one story, but then somebody else told me that figure was wrong. But anyway, he's going for a substantial fee for a youngster. A medical's been done, so we'll see what happens. But in essence, it looks like Sam Greenwood is on his way out of the club. Little concerned, I must admit, from a personal perspective. I don't like the fact that we're letting so many youngsters go. Balogun is by all intents and purposes, is more or less certain to leave the club. Arsenal have been trying to work on convincing him to sign a new contract because they know his quality. He refuses. He feels as though he can get another club and do well. So subsequently, Arsenal have, to a certain extent, frozen Balogun out, which is a lot of the reason you didn't see him on Sunday. So he's almost certain to leave the club. Southampton are very, very interested in him, as are other championship clubs. And it just seems like we're selling all our youngsters. Apparently, the one that Arsenal will not let go of is John Jules. John Jules, they seem very, very high on, particularly now that Balogun is on his way out. Greenwood is more or less out. So he's the last almost one left in terms of attackers. So they're very keen on keeping him and see how he develops. But we'll see what happens. little worried that we're letting so many youngsters go, but I guess it's all about trying to balance the books. I'm worried generally because we've sacked a lot of our scouts that discover these types of players. So I don't know if we're just deciding, right, done that. What we're going to do now is just keep an eye on the free market and pick up these talented youngsters that leave other clubs. So different, so it's almost like a moneyball type of way of doing it. I'm not sure I like it. I feel a little uncomfortable with it, but we'll see what happens. We signed 2 players like that. Sorry, we signed 3 players like that so far. So let's see how we go. But yeah, we are almost gambling. If you've ever seen the film Moneyball, you know what I'm talking about. Brandon Taylor, thank you, my brother, for your donation. So Chig, the award deal is about 23% done. I think it's less. I think it's less. I think in an ideal world, I've always said this. I've been very consistent when it comes to Aouar. I think in an ideal world, he's keen on coming. We're keen on having him. It's just a case of negotiating. I'm not as convinced that he wants to come to the club because everything I've seen is that he wants to go elsewhere. He's flattered by City's interest. He hasn't said shit about us. You know, he's indicated Juventus as a team that he wants to join. He hasn't said shit about us. He hasn't even acknowledged our interest. You know, and supposedly, by all intents and purposes, Arsenal are the only one that's put actual money down on him. Now, people have asked me before, what do I think about the Messi to City deal? I don't think there's any way Messi goes to City. But while they're flipping distracted, trying to balance the books, this is the deal we should be trying to get done. Because obviously they're not going to be trying to think about a while if they feel that they can land Messi. And quite frankly, why would they? But we should be taking advantage of that, and we're not. And that concerns me that we're not making moves in that type of direction. I think, and this is why I found his quotes quite interesting, because he kept saying, I haven't left yet. I haven't left yet. Almost as though to say, well, if I don't get the person, if I don't get the team that I feel I want to join, i.e. a Juventus, if they don't come in for me this season, I'll stay one more season and then go next summer. And that's where I'm like, this is why I'm not trying to get. For me, I am not getting suckered into this. I'm not. I refuse to get suckered into this Aouar thing. I refuse. Until I hear this guy say that he's open to joining the club, until I hear bars like that, I am not getting suckered into this. He's an excellent player. Of course, I'd want him. But I feel like you lot are allowing yourself to be gassed. Listen, Fabrizio seems cool. He gets a lot of his news accurate. But in all of his quotes, I am yet to hear him say, Aouar wants to join Arsenal. I am yet to hear a single thing that says that. See a single thing that says that. It's all about Arsenal would love him. Yeah, I'm sure Arsenal would love Messi. What's your point? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not allowing myself to be gassed by this. The one that I am allowing myself to be gassed a little bit by is Partey. As you guys know, this is one that we followed from the very start very, very closely. And all of you guys rubbished it and said that there was no chance of it. And I said, you guys are likely right, but I wouldn't say there's no chance of it. I think it's unlikely. Not because he wouldn't want to come, but because Arsenal will Arsenal this thing up. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. You got a world-class defensive midfielder here, something we've absolutely been crying out for how long? For ages. For years, we've been crying out for a combative midfielder like that. Not a Torreira, not one that kind of nips around the heels. No disrespect, but let's just call it what it is. I'm talking about a Partey that combative, can knock shoulder to shoulder with you and knock your punk ass over. You know? That knows how to tackle, not doing some Granit Xhaka type shit. You know? Can run with the ball confidently, dribble with the ball confidently through that middle, and all of a sudden has options. The attacking players have different types of options. We're not playing the same garbage way of to the fullbacks to the wingers back to the fullbacks overlap, try to get to the byline. Oh, they realize they can't cross the ball. Then back it comes. Then it comes to Granit Xhaka in a threatening position. He goes backwards, back to the fullbacks. Then the fullbacks back to the wingers. The wingers drop deep. Fullbacks overlap. It's like ABC shit. That is just how we play. That's how we play. That is exactly how we play. And it's because we don't have any confident, creative people in the middle. You got one geezer that likes playing Fortnite. You got another geezer who's busy trying not to threaten the fans in the stand. And then you got Torreira, who's too busy trying to cater to making sure that his wife doesn't go back to Italy without him. Like we're struggling in that centre of the park. Struggling. That's why I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that we're being linked with central midfielders all the time. Because we need them. All the central midfielders that we have, we need them. Every single last one. Big up to Alex. How was your headache? Yeah, it has. I feel a lot better. Thank you, brother. Feel a lot better. Thank you for your donation as well, brother. I appreciate it. So I think, in my kind of opinion, I just feel like Partey would just be one of the perfect signings for us, along with Aouar. But for me, he's more important than Aouar. And you guys know I love Aouar. I love Aouar. Anyone who doubts that, go and watch my Chick Knows Best video series on central midfielders. Spoiler alert for that video, Aouar is my choice. He has been my choice. But at the same time, I just feel like, for me, he is the realistic guy. He's the guy that we need, that would automatically improve the team from a defensive point of view and actually brings a sense of dynamism moving forward. The problem is that Arsenal are cheap as a hooker in Texas. And that's the problem, because they are the type of people that will walk into a corner shop, pick up a loaf of bread, ask the shopkeeper, how much is this? Shopkeeper tells you it's 80p. Arsenal say, no, I'll pay you 30p. Shopkeeper's like, what? It's 80p, bruh. Just pay it. It's worth more. It's been reduced for flip's sake. No, I'll pay you the 30p, bruh. Well, no, you can't have it for 30p, so get out of the shop. And then somehow the shop are the unreasonable ones. that is Arsenal's. That is literally Arsenal in a nutshell. That is literally them in a nutshell. Colorado Gunnar, thank you for your donation, my bro. Tariq Lamperty would do a job for us. He's short. He's a beast. He's the same age bracket as our new defenders. Okay. Thank you for your donation, bro. I appreciate that. And I've got to get you on the next stream. Okay. I think for now, let's just see how we go. But the Partey deal, the reason I bring him up is I'm seeing a lot of conflicting reports. The one I saw yesterday was the fact that Partey deal might be on because Atletico Madrid are closing in on Roca. Roca, funny enough, is a midfielder we were linked with. He plays for Espanyol. And he's a really good player, actually. A player I wouldn't actually mind Arsenal getting. Very good player. He does everything Granit Xhaka does, except he can short pass and tackle. So he's an immediate improvement on what we have. Thank you for your donation. Alex would like to clarify, hookers are not cheap in Texas. I wouldn't know, bro, but I'll take your word for it, okay? I appreciate it. So what was I going to say? And so it looks like Atletico Madrid are going for him. Hold on. Prostitution is illegal in Texas, but not in Vegas. Okay. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it doesn't happen, my guy. I never told you. I never said it was legal or illegal. Just remember, just keep that in mind. So anyway, you guys are making me flowers, but thank you for all the donations. I appreciate it. So I saw that story and I thought, okay, well, that's usually a good telltale sign, because I'd been hearing stories that Atletico Madrid were interested in Alan, the Napoli midfielder. But it looks like Everton are chasing him hard, because they're looking at central midfielders that they want to bring on. They want Alan and they want Decore from Watford, which are two midfielders that I think would improve Everton quite a lot, actually. So obviously that takes Alan away from Atletico Madrid. But because Roca is A, got La Liga experience, B, is young, and C, Spanish, and D, probably most importantly, he's probably going for about 10 to 12 million. Makes you wonder from an Arsenal perspective, why are we not looking at this geezer? So yeah, it looks like Atletico Madrid are looking like they're about to bid or potentially get Roca, which would make then open the question of, well, what do you do with Partey? Because Partey, they've already started to sideline already. He's already starting from the bench as it is. You're putting another midfielder there. You're basically saying to Partey, all right, you're free to go. So I think they're definitely preparing for life without him. So just think to it from an Arsenal perspective, what are we doing? Because then today I'm seeing stories that, I'll come to, let me say this right before I'm told off again. Soamaya, DVS. Did I say that right? Well, I can't remember the way he told me to pronounce it. Soamaya. So yeah. So I'm seeing stories about Soamaya, and I'll come back to that again. But now I'm seeing stories that, Arteta, following his phone call with Thiago Alcantara, that we started to open talks over Thiago Alcantara with Bayern Munich. So I'm seeing them stories. I'm seeing stories that Arsenal are heavily pursuing Diawara for 27 million. And then obviously I'm seeing the Soamaya stories. Now, whilst I have maintained, and I think I said on my last show, that just because we sign one of these guys doesn't mean that the Partey deal is dead. That keep in mind, we are losing Guendouzi, we're losing Torreira, we're potentially losing El Nene. And, all right, yes, he plays right back or wing back most of the time in Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but we're also losing him. So that's a lot of central midfielders to try and replace. Not to mention, we don't yet know whether Ceballos is returning back. I'll come back to Ceballos in a minute. So, that's a lot of kind of potential midfielders that you need to replace. I'd be very open to bringing in two midfielders. I think it'd be very sensible. This does not include Houssem Aouar, by the way. All right. So, it does make me think to myself, are we just trying to hedge our bets in case we don't get Partey? That's just probably the likely deal. I did say to you guys last time that the Partey deal was off, but don't surprise if it's off as opposed to genuinely off. I think Arsenal are posturing. I think they're trying to put Atletico Madrid under as much pressure as possible until they realize maybe they just have to go back into the damn corner shop and pay the freaking 80p because it's you that needs the bread, not the shop. This is the thing. This is what Arsenal just need to just get over it. Go and buy a damn player. Stop pissing about, because if we don't end up with Partey and he ends up either doing well for Atletico Madrid or, heaven forbid, someone who is an actual competitor for us, as fans, we're going to be extra pissed that you just didn't go ahead and go and buy the player that's probably worth double the price. Just go and buy him. Stop pissing about. Oh my gosh, Arsenal. Oh, they're so frustrating. They're so frustrating because on the one hand, they're not buying Partey because they feel that, I don't know, he's not worth that much money. On the other hand, they're trying to spend 50 million on Babakari Soamaya. I'm saying that slowly, so I'm not told off. Babu, yeah, I think I've said that right. So, I mean, for me, you guys know I think Soamaya is brilliant. I think he's an excellent player. Passing around is lit. And this is someone that actually you could play next to a DM. you could play if you were playing a Chelsea or a United or a Liverpool and can hold his own. 21 years old, just the only reason I've not really gone on about him is the fact that until recently I thought he was going Liverpool. I thought that was a done deal, and then I heard Man United rumours, and I thought that would be bad for United. But actually, Arsenal could be the ones to really benefit from him because he can play as a DM, but he also is better as a number 8. To me, this is the signing that makes more sense than Houssem Aouar. Now, don't get me wrong, you can play Houssem Aouar number 10, and if that's the plan, I get it. If the plan is to play Ceballos as a number 10, I get it. But in my personal opinion, from a defensive, solid point, not from a creative standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, Aubameyang would be a much better option as that number 8 than a Houssem Aouar. Houssem Aouar is excellent. Please don't get me wrong. And actually, defensively, he's actually pretty good. He's better than people would think for such a creative player. But if you said to me, the idea of having Aubameyang and Partey at that back, I'd take that. I'd take that. You guys know, if it was up to me, I'd go and buy Sangara and Partey. Call it a fucking day. Because it just adds so much power and presence in a team that lacks so much power and presence. There'll be never a day again that comes again where you hear of Arsenal being bullied by anybody. But that's just my opinion. That's just the way I feel about it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Is there anything else I've got to talk about? Yes, finally, let's talk about Mr. Dani Ceballos. Now, this is one guy who I think is intentionally being clever. Because every single day I see a different quote about Dani Ceballos, right? Now, on the one hand, I'm seeing stories about the fact, and this was yesterday, that I saw stories about the fact that Dani Ceballos is very, very interested in a return to Arsenal, and he doesn't want anything else, right? Which supposedly Arteta confirmed today in his press conference, but from his perspective, why wouldn't Ceballos tell him that? And you tell him what he wants to hear, you know? From my understanding, you know, that's what he wants. His first choice is to return back to Arsenal. But then I'm reading stories that actually he doesn't want to return to Arsenal and he doesn't want to stay at Real Madrid. That actually what he really wants is to return back to Betis, which is his former club. That's a club where, quite frankly, he wants to feel like a star. Go back to feeling like the number 1 guy, and Real Betis does that for him, which is why we're being linked with so many midfielders, because we're potentially replacing Ceballos as well as, you know, Torreira and anyone else. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, all right, cool, man. Listen, you're good. You ain't that good. If you really want to go that badly, bounce. That's kind of my attitude. That's why I quite like the idea of Aouar, because I think from a defensive standpoint, he's better than Ceballos. And actually, creatively, that kid is so underrated. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to get some stats next time. I need to add more stats to these shows. So I'm going to get some stats next time, and I'll really show you how good this kid is. He's so good. Passing range is so good. Actually, he's a little wasted as a number 6 to me. He can do the job well, but I would rather see him a little bit further up the field. But anyway, what do you guys think? Is this someone that you would buy? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, I'm going to quickly answer this question because I've seen it a few times in the chat room. Big up to the chat room. You guys are active at 1 a.m. in the morning. You lot are mad. And I'm mad for still being up. Big D's, I see you in the chat room. I hope you're well. Couple of donations. Let me catch them real quick. Colorado. Some Ray. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, apparently. People love helping me pronounce some shit. And DVS, Bo Beret. Bobere. Thank you, Diva. See, that's the way you correct me. Put a LOL on that. You're good to go. Not none of this aggressive shit. But thank you for your donations in help. This is the thing. If you noticed, I fuck up every word that is a name. I don't know why I do that. Don't know why I do that. If it's a name, I will butcher it. If it's any other word in the English language, I'll read it perfectly. Stats mean nothing. Ask your boy Liga. I don't know who this Liga you talk of. I know that Liga is a guy that got an exclusive interview. That I do know. I'm very interested in seeing where that goes. Oh, and Sergio, maybe you can help me. Alex says there's no cheap hookers in Texas. Is he correct? Let me know. Leave it in the chat room. All right. What was I going to say? Yes, let's talk about. I'll come back to that comment, Diesel. I've seen you. Let's talk about Spurs' purchase of Doherty, because I've seen that question a few times float around. For me, I think that potentially good news for us. Now, you're probably looking at yourself thinking, huh? What do you mean? Are you happy that we're losing Ainsley Maitland-Niles now? No, I'm not. Because obviously that's why Wolves want to replace Doherty. They want to replace him with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So it completely makes sense from that point of view why they're chasing him so hard. And that's why ultimately, if we said to Wolves 25 million, I think they'll pay it. Because they need to replace... they need to replace... I'm going to tell him you said that, Sergio. I'm going to tell that person I don't know that you said that about him. What was I going to say? Yes. Yes. For me, I think it could be good news because until recently, all I've been hearing is that Max Aarons is going to Spurs. That's all I've been hearing. And then all of a sudden, from the blue, Spurs have agreed a fee with Wolves over Doherty, which now explains why Wolves want to move for Doherty so badly. Move for Ainsley Maitland-Niles so badly. And the interesting thing about that whole situation is that Doherty, once in 2013, came out and admitted he was an Arsenal fan. He's an Arsenal fan. Bet you guys didn't know that. He is an Arsenal fan. And he's on his way to Spurs, which is interesting. Oh, my goodness. You can't make some shit up in football sometimes, I tell you. So, it is what it is. I think from my perspective, I think it's a good signing for Spurs. Mourinho likes these slightly older heads. Doherty is 28 now, going on 29. And I think he's someone who I think will end up doing something, playing reasonably well for them. I think he'll be solid for them. From an Arsenal perspective, let's stop fucking about. Sell Bellerin. Supposedly PSG are really on the case. Juventus are desperate for him, apparently. In my mind, I am praying that one of these teams to take Hector Bellerin. If that's the case, we should be on Max Aarons. On him. Tap him up, disturb him, charm him, talk about the fact that Arsenal is the right step up for him, get him to this club ASAP. That would be what I would do. Let's not fuck around. Because if Cedric is our number one right back next season, quickly, let me cover some donations real quick before I start to wrap things up and get up out of here. Mr. Harmon, thank you, my brother. Chiggy Chig. How do I join as a member, big man? As I can't see in your description where to join. P.S. Will I get a drum roll, bro? You'll definitely get a drum roll. Can you not see where it says, you know where you subscribe? It should say join. Let me know if it doesn't, and then I will find a link and I'll put it in the chat room. Because I know sometimes people can't find. It should say join right next to subscribe. So let me know. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. You guys love your late night shows. And then Sergio, Mr. Hernandez. I knew I asked a question he would like to respond to. Thank you for your donation as well. Even the hood escorts charge you up the arse and carry the deadly diseases. You're better off just using. I made one comment and I've caused all this. Thank you, Sergio. Apologies, chat room. Apologies. It's not like me to go so crude. Arsenal should have signed Hakimi. Yes, we should have. For 31 million, I think that would have been a good investment. But I also suspect that Arsenal want to sell Hector because he refuses to extend his contract. I think that's the real reason behind it. Enjoy the streams on Chick Flicks, mate. From Diesel. Thank you, brother. I've got one more for you too coming up very, very soon. Very, very soon. Just quick plugs as well, guys, before I head up out of here. We're going to do 3 more minutes. Once again, please do slap a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Press that big join. It should be just underneath this little picture frame. Should be on your right-hand side. If it doesn't say join, let me know, and I'll put the link in the chat room. In fact, I'm going to go and find the link now just to allow you guys to join should you wish. What was I going to say? Chick Flicks. I did 3. If you're wondering what Diesel's talking about, I did 3 shows on my movie channel. I reviewed Anelka, the documentary series. I reviewed. Gosh, I can't remember what else I reviewed. I reviewed a trailer, a Batman trailer, and I reviewed another film. I reviewed Project Power. So go check out those 3 reviews. Yeah, those were all 3 were very interesting, especially that Anelka documentary. I learned some stuff about Anelka, boy. I learned some. I was tempted to stream it on here as well. That review I should have done. Because it was Arsenal related technically. And Chick Flicks. What is that flipping show I do with the boys? A combat show where I do with Ola and Will. Please do check that out. I'll be doing that at 9:30 tomorrow. We'll dissect what went wrong for Dillian White. I've been avoiding it all week. Let's just do it and get it done. And talk about other things UFC related. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, my brother. Yes, please. All right, cool. While I get this link, please do keep dropping me questions, quick fire questions, before I head up out of here because I need some sleep. I need some sleep. Give me that sleep. Give me that sleep. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get this down link before I get up out of here. How do you get the down link again? I've forgotten. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll put the link and I will put it as my pinned comment because I don't want to waste you guys' time. I'll put it as my pinned comment. All right, pinned comment. If you want to join the channel, it'll be my pinned comment. If my join is not working, we'll go from there. DVS, is Project Power good? Go check out my review, brother. Go to Chick Flicks, which, by the way, big shout out to everyone. I've just crossed 200 subscribers on that. So I thank you very much. Go to Chick Flicks. The link is literally below you. You don't need to do anything. Just go below you, click on it. You'll come to my channel. It will be the second to last one, I think, that I do. Check out whether you think whether I think it's good or not. I can't tell you that. Thank you, Colorado. Good night, brother. Chig, I'm from Jamaica. It doesn't say join, but when I use a VPN and change my location to the UK, it says join. Do you know what, Starboy? You're too young anyway. Because I know you don't have no credit card. America gang unite. America Gooners stand up. You lot have my respect, man. I ain't gonna lie. Can't be doing these. Anyone that's not in the UK that's getting up early to watch Arsenal, especially the way they play half the time. Maximum respect. AJ Fury, who you got, chick? Honestly, Declan, I still not decide. I still think Fury, but I'm trying to talk myself into AJ. That's the honest truth, if you want me to be honest. Chig, did you see that Kolarov is going maybe to Inter? Does that mean that Kolasinac is going to Roma? Roma do want him. They're desperate for him. So fingers crossed. I'll be surprised if we get rid of all our Deadwood. Let's put it that way. I'm kind of anticipating Mustafi stays. I think Xhaka stays. With Kolasinac, to be honest, I think it can go either way. It really could. Morning chick. Morning old school. Don't know who this chick is, but morning old school. I wake up at 1 a.m. to go to work. See, that's how you know. That's how I know you know about them street hookers. You're going to work at 1 a.m. Doherty is shit at defending. He's a good crosser though. Good cross of the ball. I don't think he's shit at defending. I think let's say it's his weaker side of things. Omar, I'm surprised you are still awake, bro. One more question before I head up out of here, guys. 140 of you still watching me for some crazy reason. Get some sleep. One more question before I head up out of here. Max Aarons is an upgrade and Bellerin. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Big mistake selling Ainsley. I agree. I agree. I'm still hoping that we last minute back out of it. Chig, would I get rid of Reece Nelson? I would, yes. I'll end with this one. Yes, I like him. I like him. I think there are other channels that I wouldn't go on if I was invited. I think I've mentioned them before, but I won't give them the airtime now. But there are other channels that I wouldn't bother with. But yes, I would. I like True Geordie. Sometimes he says things where I'm a bit like, but generally for a podcaster, he's one of the pinnacles. He's one of the aims, as is your Joe Rogans. You know, if you're a small YouTuber like me and you want to be a podcaster and you want to go down those lines, those have to be people that you look up to and try to move towards. And he is someone who I absolutely look up to in that respect and want to move towards. I think his camera work and production setup is second to none. Absolutely second to none. And that's absolutely something that I want to move towards for sure. God willing, that's exactly what I will be doing. 100%. 100%. Just like, you know, the way Lee looks up to Mark Goldbridge is probably the way I look up to True George's setup and his show and the way he structures it and his production. Because anyone who doesn't know, one of the things I want to do with this, because that's always a question I get, like, what is it you want to do with this YouTube channel? You know, I want to expand from this platform. I want to have my own network. I want to have my own kind of like studio and where I kind of, you know, give up people the opportunities to run podcasts out of that studio if they want to. That's where I personally picture this going. So yeah. It's funny that Spurs don't find a player that's a Spurs fan. It's true. When was the last time a Spurs fan joined Spurs? It's very true. Rickon, I will not comment on what True Geordie likes sexually. Each to their own. Everyone likes some weird shit. His is just extra weird. That's all. Thank you, Rickon. I appreciate that. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is better than Max Aarons. Yeah, Alan, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but both of them are hella better than Hector Bellerin. That's for damn sure. And remember, Max Aarons has only just turned 21, I think. So he's still got time to get to Ainsley Maitland-Niles level. All right, guys. I suppose I better head up out of here now. Please take care of yourself. Enjoy your Thursday. I'm going to be back tomorrow. One of them is going to be a preview. By the way, special announcement, because people asked me about this the other day. When am I going to set up my my fantasy football team? I'm going to do it with you lot. That's right. On Sunday evening, I'm going to set up my fantasy football team with the assistance of you lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I am shamelessly nicking this video idea from what's his name, from Hugh Wizzy, because you guys know I wanted to set up the league anyway. I already said that, you know, between 1 to 5 places is going to be a payout. I still intend to do that. But then I figured to myself, hold on, I can't just set up a league and not participate. Well, then let me set up a team with the assistance of you guys. So I am going to set up my fantasy football team with the assistance of you guys. We're going to do a video. However long it takes, it takes. Because I get I owe you guys a bit of a lengthy show anyway. So however long it takes, it takes. We're going to set up every single player for my fantasy football team. That's the one I'm rocking with in my own league. Heck, that's the one I'm joining Lee's league with. So make sure whatever team we rock, it's a good team. All right? So catch me on Sunday. I will be doing that. We'll be setting up Chig's fantasy football team. That's going to be... I'm probably going to avoid Boy Wonder's... let me avoid Boy Wonder's stream. So I'll do that at 10... Oh, and I've got to check the other half. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll do that at 10 p.m. UK time. Setting up Chig's fantasy football league and team. Is Lee joining your league as well? I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. It's going to be fun. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to head up out of here. Please do hit that subscribe button. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back again tomorrow. Peace. A-Town down.